Okay, but अभी तो नीड नहीं है, अभी तो ऑफ ही करना है.
Just give me a second. Yeah, I quickly wanted to introduce. I wanted to introduce myself, and I wanted to welcome everybody. Hi, I'm Sejal. I'll be your host for this webinar. Again, thank you so much for joining another insightful session in the series Easy Startup Mantra. It's presented by Easy Knowledge Club and in association with Indicon Angels and New Age Brands. So we are very excited to have Bhuvanesh here. For the ones who don't know, Bhuvanesh is also known as the landing page guy because he has helped multiple D2C brands with their landing page optimization, with their consumer conversion, which is a very big hassle for a lot of founders, right? So thanks, Bhuvnesh, for joining this call. We can start with a few introductions. So for everybody who's present in this call, please feel free to, let's keep this session very interactive.
Yeah,
Let's try to take everything, every knowledge that we can from Bhuvnesh here.
I can go on for 5-6 hours of non-stop speaking about CRO, but what would be very fantastic is that if you have specific doubts on things, then we can jump into area. And again, what I can do is I can also begin with my presentation first, so you have a context on things, and then we'll jump into those things from there. Sounds good?
That works too. Yes, that will be great. So,
Perfect.
but
I
keep
hope
your
my
questions ready. I mean, you should all keep your questions ready for the session.
yes, I hope my screen is visible.
Your screen is visible. Yes.
Perfect. So the purpose of me keeping this entire thing as a name of how to master the art of CRO is where I believe that you imagine this one thing in the next 1 years or 2 years and stuff, there'll be a lot of D2C brand that will come into the market. Eventually, everyone will be using AI to create communication content stuff, um, and everyone will have a similar kind of tonality, right? Um, while everyone has a similar manufacturing unit, similar product and stuff, you will still have alphas of the community. You still have Pareto theory, where 80% of the revenue will be contributed by 20% revenue. Now, who will be these 20 people? These 20 people with all data sets are now the existing brands that are doing legacy businesses, but these are supposed to be coming up new brands that are creating a niche in the market itself, right? And while you're creating this entire niche, there is a the most important part when you're tracking is communications. Like how do you communicate as a brand with the customers, right? Hence, the main entire thing is how to master the art. It's an art. Storytelling is an art of CRO. So while you are looking at art, you're also looking at data in order to understand how do you improve these communications for your brand. Now, first of all, why should you as a brand care about it? You as a brand should care about it because CRO is one of the only lever in your entire D2C experience where you can implement something today in the morning and tomorrow morning you can see a uptick in your performance, 10%, 20%. And to implement this thing, you might not even need a developer or designer. You can, as a founder, can sit at home, open Canva, add catalog images and stuff, and create this entire experience, and you can get a like a improvement in conversion rate. Right now, I hope my screen visible.
Not anymore. I mean, we can see you,
Uh,
but we can't see your presentation.
one second, 1 second. Yeah, just wanted to confirm.
It's visible again.
Perfect. Now, before we begin this entire conversation, just few keywords: CRO and landing pages. What is conversion rate optimization? CRO is a process where you're looking at your website on a monthly basis. You are listing down on things that you can improvise the conversion, and you implementing them one by one in order to get the conversion improvement. Right? Optimization is a single-handedly the most beautiful thing as a business. It's represent efficiency. Right? Now, with efficiency, you're not doing something new. With efficiency, you're making the current systems better. So what happens when you're making the current systems better? It gives you more and better results, right? Now, another keyword over here is landing pages. Now, one common question people ask, what is landing page? Landing page could be any page of your website. It could be home page, collection page, VDP, but that page should have a traffic, high traffic, and that page should have a single objective. अगर आप fashion brand हो, then you can get your traffic to your collection page, and the purpose of the page is to show people a lot of collection that you have, right? If you are a personal care brand or a supplement brand, then आपका product pages become your landing page, where the objective is to speak about the product so well that people would want to buy, right? Now, if you're able to see the screen, you will see this entire thing of how we implemented our A/B testing result, where the add to cart was improved by 67%, and we had 50,000 traffic to A/B test this entire out. In another A/B testing, when we did an improvement, we saw a 100% increase in AOV, and the CAC reduced by half. The ROAS also improved. This is the spend the brand had done, and this is the revenue. How well do you take this webinar will decide whether you'll be here or here. And this difference is not 10-20%, it's more than that. Then we have another case study where we got 70% increase in conversion rate. Then we have another case study where a brand got like a 20% increase in conversion rate. But now 20% तो you look so small कि 20% conversion तो बड़ा है. इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? Until you realize that the PDP I'm talking about is doing 7 crore rupees per month. So our 20% increase in our 77 crore rupees is more than like a 1.4 crore rupees per month in additional revenue that we were able to get for one PDP, right? So the bigger the scale that you're operating at, जब आप कुछ भी अच्छे changes करोगे तो आपको result मिलेगा, right? Then there's another case study where we are able to have three kind of like 3 pages, and all the 3 pages got like a 100% increase in conversion rate, right? And then two one they did not convert. That is to show you that not everything will work in your favor. You will always have to test things out, and once you have a result, then you can take a call from us, right? In another case study, we saw a overall conversion rate, like shop floor conversion rate going up to 92%. 92% is huge. That's like saying that if you're doing like a 5 lakh rupees per month on the website, you can do 9 lakh rupees per month on the website without increasing the ad spend at all, right? Now, 99% of projects that we have done has a success rate where it has at least converted 22% better, 20% better. Now, we are here to discuss कि हमने कैसे बनाया, क्या बनाया, ताकि ये सब चीजें आप without needing any person can do yourself very easily, right? Now, why it is important right now? It is perhaps the best time to run a D2C brand, and it is the worst time to run a D2C brand. Why it is the best time to run D2C brand? Because now you have AI. अगर आज आप अपनी कंपनी को आज शुरू कर रहे हो, तो आज आप अपनी कंपनी के इंटरनल प्रोसेस के अंदर क्लाउड, चैट जीपीटी या मल्टीपल एआई टूल्स को लेके आ सकते हो. That will make your system much efficient than any of the legacy company that you're doing right now. It's also the worst time because whatever creative strategy that you create, any person can replicate it very easily, right? So it's a paradox, right? Eventually, who is winning? That's the question, right? I always say this thing: D2C is a facade. You create website, you create content, you create ads, right? Eventually, a customer is looking at the website, उसने वो facade देखा, उसने वो purchase किया, purchase करने के बाद 3-4 दिन बाद उसको प्रोडक्ट मिलेगा, उसके बाद वो यूज करेगा, फिर 10 days बाद उसका वो ओपिनियन आएगा. लेकिन उससे पहले तो पैसा जा चुका है आपका, आपका मतलब कस्टमर ने पैसा दे दिया आपको, आपके पास आ चुका है, right? So when the customer is making a judgment, it's making on the basis of the facade that you create. Now beyond the point, आप प्रोडक्ट में वैल्यू ऐड नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज यू विल हिट अ प्राइस रेंज, बट एक परसेप्शन क्रिएट करना इज इजियर. अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन 1% कन्वर्जन रेट, 5% कन्वर्जन रेट ऑफ द पेज इज नॉट द प्रोडक्ट, बिकॉज प्रोडक्ट तो सेम है, ट्रैफिक भी सेम है, आईसीपी भी सेम है. देन डिफरेंस आ कहां से रहा है? इट्स ऑल अबाउट क्रिएटिंग अ फसाड. कैन यू क्रिएट अ फसाड दैट इज स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड बेटर, राइट? The next set of digital growth is where 60% of market is coming from tier 2 and tier 2 city, right? It's a massive number to look at. And what does it mean? It basically means that as a company, मेरा view सूरत का sir, I will call you to my office. I'll talk about this subject first, and then we'll jump into all the casual conversations. Uh, yeah. So tier 2 city में majority of growth आने वाला है, and then what does it matter, right? So you have to speak in the language that you're speaking about. Secondary thing is also कि trust as a factor is going to be rare, right? In the next 12 months, 13 months, imagine a world where every brand is creating like a 20, 30 reels, UGC content on a daily basis. Who will a customer trust? So trust is going to be rare. Trust is the currency, and the person which is able to do a good trust selling with a good storytelling angle will be able to win this trust very easily, right? Why it was so hard earlier and why it is easier today? You all saw the benefit of conversion rate. In my experience of working with 1,000 D2C brands in my lifetime, I have not seen more than 10 brands or 15 brands that are doing A/B testing or optimization on a monthly basis, right? How is this possible? That something very so important and can give you instant increase in conversion rate is still the thing that people don't do very frequently. It's what's mainly happening because in order to create any changes in website, you need to have an analytics person, you need to have a UI UX person, you need to have a developer person, you need to have a content person, you need to have a graphic person, and all these to work together in order to make it. But as a brand, it doesn't fascinate you. What fascinates you? Your product fascinates you. Marketing fascinates you. Social media management fascinates you. Creating and working with influencer fascinates with you. Competitively, CRO looks like a more boring work. But CRO is a place where you end up making money. So the 10 or 15 brands I'm talking about who used to do CRO on a monthly basis are the ones who went from a zero to like a 10 crores per month brand in the span of 2 to 3 years. And those who don't do it are still sitting behind in like long period of time, right? And again, होता क्या है कि जब एक बड़ी कंपनी एग्जिस्ट करती है, जैसे PNG है, PNG has 10 brands. Those 10 brands have 100 products each, and let's say they have almost 1,000 products. Now, in order to create anything at that kind of size, to A/B test, to create variation, is not practically possible for them till today. Now you're stepping into an AI world. Everything can be created very easily with AI. So in the next winter edits that Shopify will be launching, what Shopify is also doing is it will give you option to create landing pages from a prompt, and it will also give you options to create multiple landing pages. And depending on campaigns and geography, you will be able to redirect these things. So far, it used to rely on external application, but in the next 6 months, Shopify will do it internally. Right? All the legacy brands will be forced to do something right. Right? So far, kya tha? When I started my career 8, 9, 10 years back, I'm telling you the true story. My first job was as a freelancing was to write copies for a company in US where I was creating landing page structures for them. Those kind of landing pages, it's been almost 8, 9 years in India. I still have not made for brands. They used to create a separate landing page for top of the funnel, different from middle of the funnel, and much different from bottom of the funnel. Now, why were they doing it 8 years back? Because they reached CPM costing much earlier. We, as an Indian consumer market, is still sitting in a privileged space where you still are in a booming AI era and a consumer era. The moment this market will become big, eventually CPM's cost gonna go so up that you will not be able to sustain without creating landing pages. अभी तक लोग नहीं कर रहे थे बिकॉज प्रिविलेज था कि नहीं करोगे तो भी चल रहा है कल ये चीज नहीं रहेगी वापस right? Now with AI, all this research, design, copy, writing, graphic can happen on Claude itself. आपको कुछ मेहनत करने की जरूरत है नहीं, ठीक है? What are the three important metrics you will have to care about? You have to care about conversion rate. You have to care about average order value, and उसके important है you have to create and care about revenue per session. As long as your revenue per session आ रहा है, आपको improvement मिल जाएगा, right? What is the most important rule? Whenever you're creating anything, be it content, graphic, design, development, anything for your website, always be mobile first. Again, sounds so easy. करने में क्या ही जाएगा? हम कर देंगे mobile first. But tomorrow when you start working with your team members, when you start giving your tasks and stuff, because they're sitting on a desktop and they can see a desktop screen, they will always create desktop first. अगर आपको Shopify में development करना शुरू करना है, the developer will have to start with Shopify development like a desktop version first, and then he'll be able to make a mobile version. Right? तो अगर आपने Figma में डिजाइन नहीं करी है, and your designer developer doesn't understand what to be created, he will always create a desktop first design. So this is a big problem statement. Easier than look, difficult to implement. Like mobile first ही बना रहा है आपको जब भी कुछ बना रहे हैं, right? Who will win? Next decade किसका है? The next decade belongs to someone who understands tech through AI, who understands storytelling, and who understands data. If you're able to match all three of them, you will be able to curate a lot of communication at a scale that will give you edge that even money can't buy. Now, जब भी आप storytelling करो or whatever communication that you add in your website, it needs to satisfy three things. This three thing is called mode of persuasion, and this has been there since the time of Aristotle. Aristotle created this thing called mode of persuasion, where he mentioned that any persuasion or any convincing that ever happens in the world, right? Even let's say if you go for a date, in order to find the right partner, you will see the three things, right? If you are a customer, you're going to make a purchase, you will see three things. First will be credibility, कि जिससे मैं खरीद रहा हूँ वो credible है क्या? Am I buying chocolate from a pharma company? क्योंकि हो सकता है कि उन्होंने गड़बड़ कर दी हो, right? Or am I buying like like from a person, or am I dating a person that is not credible? मार्केट में नाम खराब है बंदे का, right? मार्केट में नाम बंदे का नाम खराब है, you will not go on date, right? So that's the what credibility basically means. The second is emotions. right? If you look at a product, you should find an aspiration towards it, or you should feel need of it, right? So you gotta make sure that you're doing a mobile first approach, right? Sorry, mobile first approach, but you have emotions. Third is logic. Now, the logic is a part where your storytelling comes into picture, right? Why do you start as a brand? अगर आप फैशन ब्रांड हो, आप सप्लीमेंट ब्रांड हो, आप पर्सनल केयर ब्रांड हो, आप कोई भी ब्रांड हो, what is the logic behind why a customer should move from an existing purchase to your purchase, right? Now, logic is a place where you do storytelling very well, where you also add emotion and credibility in the entire aspects. Now, storytelling का logical format क्या है? ठीक है? I'll give you an example with the page itself so you understand how it happens, right? हर बॉलीवुड मूवी की एक ही शुरुआत होती है. पहले आता है हीरो, फिर आएगा विलन. नाउ इन एवरी वे the villain should be stronger than the hero, because only when the villain is stronger you will find the hero to be credible. Ram Ravan के युद्ध में Ram was like in Vanvas. Ravan had a like entire kingdom. Then Ravan had like 10 heads, and then Ravan was Shiv Bhakt. The bigger and more glorious you are able to make the enemy, right? The stronger the person of the hero is. And eventually, if the hero wins, you will find this hero to be like a larger than life character, right? That's how Bollywood movies are made. Why do we have movies like Animals? We have movies like Animals because वहाँ पे hero is larger than life character. He's flying a plane, he's fighting 100 people, this stuff, and you feel क्या hero तो crazy है. Now, how do you create or take this same approach for your landing pages? ठीक है. पहली चीज आप क्या करोगे? आप प्रोडक्ट दिखाओगे, ठीक है, और आप ये दिखाओगे कि आप मतलब आप प्रोडक्ट when I'm talking about my storytelling aspects, ठीक है, when we say hero is not your product, ठीक है, when is hero, it basically means the customer. इस स्टोरी की हीरो आप नहीं हो, इस स्टोरी का हीरो कस्टमर है. Now the customer has a problem. So when you're looking at a customer, you have to understand customer very well. कि वो क्या कर रहा है, क्या प्रॉब्लम शिपमेंट है, क्या खाता है, क्या पीता है, क्या लैंग्वेज बात कर रहा है, क्या कंसर्न है, जो वो एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट यूज कर रहा है उसको क्या पसंद नहीं आ रहा है. ऑल दिस इज योर स्टोरी टेलिंग, right? Where you're coming up with your like ICP, the ideal customer persona. Once you have this ICP, you need to tell कि ICP को क्या पसंद आएगा, right? अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल हाइड्रासॉल एक प्रोडक्ट है वेलबींग का, जिसके लिए हम लोगों ने लैंडिंग पेज बनाया है, राइट? अब हमको क्या दिखाना है, हमको हीरो कब तक अट्रैक्ट करना है हमारे हीरो को. अब हमारे हीरो को किससे फर्क पड़ता है? हमारे हीरो को फर्क पड़ता है कम्युनिकेशन, कि भाई वो उसको क्या है, वो पानी पीता है, दे करता है, वो करता है, उसको पता है कि पानी के अंदर पूरे वो मिनरल्स नहीं है बिकॉज ऑफ एक्सपायरी इश्यूज, उसको कुछ चाहिए जिम में, ऑफिस में, जिसके साथ वो पानी के साथ मिला के पी सके. तो उसको क्या कम्युनिकेशन अच्छी लगेगी, उसको लगेगी कि यार दिस इज 5 हाइड्रेशन कंपेयर टू वाटर, कि इसमें 3 एक्टिव सपोर्ट है, इसमें हाइड्रेट भी कर रहा है, रिकवर भी कर रहा है, बूस्ट इम्यूनिटी बूस्ट कर रहा है, और इसमें सेलुलर हाइड्रेशन 100% होगा आपका, राइट? देन इट्स ऑल्सो एज 16 फॉर्मूला, इसमें कोई शुगर नहीं है, राइट? तो कस्टमर को जो एक ग्लिम्स चाहिए इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड ये प्रोडक्ट अल्फा है क्या, उसको आ गया. अल्फा ओनली वांट्स अल्फा. सो वंस यू हैव क्रिएटेड अ डिप आईसीपी एंड यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए, तो आप पहले उसको वो दिखा रहे हो. अब आपका हीरो आ चुका है, ठीक है. अब आपको अपने हीरो को दिखानी है अपनी चीजें, क्या देखो आपको ये सब चीजें चाहिए, ये सब चीजें अवेलेबल है, राइट? देन आप दिखा रहे हो कि प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट क्या है. प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट ना ये है ना, बहुत अंडर यूटिलाइज पार्ट है, ठीक है, बट यहाँ सबसे बड़ी सेलिंग होती है. इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू शो योर प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट वेरी वेल, हाउ विल एक्सपेक्ट द पर्सन टू बिलीव कि आपका सोल्यूशन पता है, कि आपका सोल्यूशन वर्क करता है, राइट? यहाँ प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट है कि यू आर डिहाइड्रेटेड एंड यू डोंट नो अबाउट इट, and every 2% dehydration that you lead, you see a brain fog, you see poor skin, you see tiredness, and you see slow recovery. And if you can relate with all of them while you're trusted, that basically means कि आपके पानी में वो चीज एनर्जी नहीं है, right? And why water is not enough? Water is not enough because water कोई मिनरल्स है नहीं, जो मिनरल्स होने चाहिए थे उसमें. इसमें वाटर जो है प्रोसेस हो चुका है, ठीक है, और आप जब पानी पी रहे हो और अगर आपकी बॉडी में सॉल्ट नहीं है तो आपकी बॉडी को ऑब्जर्व नहीं कर सकता है, राइट? हमारे प्रोडक्ट नहीं करते बिकॉज मेरे पास सॉल्ट है. आपने पूरे सॉल्ट डाल दिया, पानी में ऐड करोगे तो आपके पानी में वो मिनरल्स मिल जाएंगे, तो आपकी बॉडी ज्यादा उसको ऑब्जर्व करेगा. ये वर्क कैसे करता है, राइट? और ये आप अब ये वर्क कर रहा है तब आपको जाहिर सी बात है यार, इफ आई एम हैविंग दिस थिंग देन आई वांट टू मेक श्योर कि आई एम नॉट एडिंग एनी बुलशिट. तो नो शुगर, नो ग्लूटेन, नो जीएमओ, नो जीएम लाइक जीएमपी सर्टिफाइड और शुगर फ्री, राइट? एंड देन यू फोकसिंग अपॉन कि आप उसको कैसे बनाओगे। आप उसको स्पोर्ट्स में पहन सकते हो, अपने डेस्क पे रख सकते हो, आप अपने ट्रैवल किट में रख सकते हो। तो यू गिविंग एन आइडियाज, यू आर गिविंग एन इंटरनल एक्सटर्नल ट्रिगर। एक बहुत अच्छी बुक है, बुक है कॉल्ड हुक। हुक टॉक्स अबाउट कि हाउ यू हैव टू क्रिएट इंटरनल एक्सटर्नल ट्रिगर इन कस्टमर्स ब्रेन। तब जाके आदमी को जब वो जरूरत पड़ेगी तो वो आएगा। अब आपका कस्टमर है, जिम जा रहा है, प्यास लग रही है, प्यास से पानी से प्यास बुझ नहीं रही है, देन इफ यू आर एबल टू शो देम दिस एंटायर परव्यू कि व्हेनेवर दिस हैपेंस विद यू कि आप जिम जा रहे हो, आप बैग निकाल रहे हो, आपको पानी पीना है और पानी से प्यास नहीं बुझ रही है, आप मेरे बारे में याद करना। राइट, सो द कस्टमर रिमेंबर्स यू कि यार मेरे उस ब्रांड के पता था कि ये प्रॉब्लम आती है, दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट जिसके लिए मैंने प्रोडक्ट बनाया था। तो यू क्रिएट एन इंटरनल एक्सटर्नल ट्रिगर दैट लीव्स इन पीपल्स माइंड फॉर लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। लैंडिंग पेज एंड स्टोरी टेलिंग इज नथिंग बट ऑल डेटा एंड स्टोरी टेलिंग। राइट, फिर अब पूरे क्लीन सर्टिफिकेशन वगैरह आ गए, देन इसमें हमारे क्या क्या ऐड करा है वो आ गया, इन्हें फोकसिंग अपॉन हमारे कितने मिनरल्स वगैरह अगर आपने वो ऐड कर दिए। 1 सेकेंड, 1 सेकेंड। या देन अगेन द वॉर ऑन शुगर, जितने भी एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट्स मार्केट में अवेलेबल है उन सब में बहुत शुगर बना हुआ है और हमारे में शुगर बना हुआ नहीं है। राइट, देन क्यों होता है, कैसे होता है, बेनिफिट यूजेस क्या है, इंग्रेडिएंट्स क्या है, हमारे पूरा कम्युनिकेशन हो गया। राइट, तो इफ यू लुक एट द स्टोरी टेलिंग वेपन कि द विलन अटैक्स कर लिया, आपने वेपन दिखाया उसको, तो लास्ट में हीरो चेंज होता है। नाउ यू आर फोकसिंग ऑन लाइफस्टाइल, व्हाट इज हीरो, हीरो का वेपन लुक्स लाइक। हीरो का वेपन लुक्स लाइक द हीरो इज प्लेइंग टेनिस, हीरो इज गोइंग ऑन रन, हीरो इज लिविंग द लाइफ। राइट, सो यू विद इमेजरी यू आर डूइंग दिस एंटायर गेम where able to show a lifestyle of a person who is using your product, who is craving for this entire thing, right? That's what your hero looks like, right? Now, once you have a hero and stuff, you have a call to action. तो विलन स्टेटमेंट को बड़ा करना और दिखा पाना इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट। नाउ व्हाट आर डूज एंड डोंट्स, राइट? हमारे डूज क्या है? हमारे डूज ये है कि यार हम लोग रेगुलरली कंपटीटर को अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे और वो कंपटीटर क्या कर रहा है उसको स्टडी करेंगे। दिस ऑलवेज हेल्प अस अंडरस्टैंड कि कस्टमर क्या देखिए खुश होता है। राइट, सेकेंड इज कि हम अपनी वेबसाइट को हर मंथ ऑप्टिमाइज करेंगे। राइट, एज आई टोल्ड यू, यू माइट नॉट बी a UX designer developer, but we are able to have a content person that can work with or a content on a monthly basis with you, right? And who can create communication for your website, you will do wonders. Right, always be mobile first. Right, another thing, if you are a brand running marketing spends and you already have revenue, right, or you have spends stuff, try to see कि meta google में क्या work कर रहा है आपके लिए। if you're able to find the meta Google creatives and able to incorporate on a landing page, you will see a massive increase in conversion rate from that. For example, एक ब्रांड है यानमैन जो शार्क टैंक में आया था, हमने उनकी लैंडिंग पेज बनाया। 70-80% of revenue used to come from one particular ad campaign that was being run on Shark Tank video. Now, when the Shark Tank created a problem कि वो वीडियो आप लॉन्च नहीं कर सकते, the brand's revenue dropped. What did we do? We took that video, made it a second slide in the carousel image, because of which the page was able to get a 25% increase in conversion rate. Massive. So once you're able to understand कि what is working for you from the perspective of Meta and Google Ads, राइट, मैक श्योर करो कि आपका वो कम्युनिकेशन यहाँ पे अवेलेबल हो। राइट, टॉक टू कस्टमर सपोर्ट ऑन अ डेली बेसिस, टॉक टू कस्टमर कि क्या चाहिए, क्या प्रॉब्लम है, क्या नहीं समझ में आ रहा है प्रोडक्ट के बारे में। सो यू कैन ऑल्सो ऑप्टिमाइज योर वेबसाइट अकॉर्डिंगली। वेरी ऑफन यू विल सी योर इंस्टाग्राम डीएम्स filled with comments and queries. If the customer has gone to your website and has not understood something about the product and is messaging you, it's not customer's fault, it's your fault. You need to make sure that the communication that the customer has a concern about is being mentioned. It will be a good customer who will come and message you. But what about the customer who are not messaging you, it's not even talking to you regarding the concern? So the customer has a concern and has a question regarding the product, that basically means that information is not clearly mentioned on landing pages. So that has to be made by you, right? What are rules? Act like Amazon. Don't overcomplicate things. When you are starting a brand, you will have thousands of tendencies to complicate your website with different tech, different animation, different kind of stuff. And you would want to communicate what you want as a brand would want to talk about. Doesn't matter. You only have to care about what the customer speaks about, and you have to care about and cater to customer needs only. Right? Don't consider industry benchmark. Very often people ask me, and even if I tell them don't ask me this question, they will still ask me that what is the industry benchmark? Why do you care about industry benchmark? There is one brand that I know in a cat food category who has 150 sessions a day. That's all. But those are loyal customers. 33, he gets 33 orders a day from those people. The website conversion is around 25-30%. Each product is around 5,000 rupees. The brand is doing 1.5 lakh rupees a month, a day. In a month, they're doing 35 lakh rupees of revenue with zero marketing spends. Now, this is what an upper benchmark of industry looks like, right? So why do you want to care about benchmarking? You as a brand, हो सकता है कि अरे आपके लिए मेटा YouTube creative awareness campaigns are working very well for you, but the conversion will look small. But because you're getting and being visible to a lot of people, it might not convert into conversion, but it will give you conversion over the period of time. So how do you do this benchmarking? It's waste of time. Don't even look into it. Know what is your conversion rate. If your conversion rate is and you can do 20% better, also is more than enough. What you should not do. Don't copy paste others' works. I have seen so many times where brands have come to me at a sales level. They show me a page that I had created for another brand. And then they're like, yeah, you know what? मेरी marketing agency ने बोला कि ये पेज बहुत अच्छा वर्क कर रहा है, आप कॉपी कर लो. हमने कॉपी कर लिया. It's not converting. The page that I have made earlier for the brand was in the fertility category. This brand is selling kidney stones. How can you take that page and like replicate it over here and expect to work? It won't work. Then I see a lot of brands which are looking at international market and they are benchmarking those websites that I want to make a website like that. Baba, that market is very different. The customer is very educated. If you look at Indian market and Indian consumer market, it's very different. You're talking about an audience where you have to educate people about the product and then the conversion will happen. But you're looking those benchmarking and trying to replicate the strategy over here. In that market, also people don't show all the advanced companies that they have. They will not have a website. They will not have their landing pages that are converting very well for the website. It's all hidden pages that they run. So you will not be able to see those pages also. So what's the point of looking at them and try to complicate? Don't do that. Don't overcomplicate your tech. Use Shopify. Use as minimum tools that you can do, and make sure that you're majority getting the work done. Okay. Don't build a website that is meant to last forever. What does it mean? You made the website. You know, after 1 month, 2 months of marketing, you can improvise the website. Why would you want to say that I want to make a website where I don't have to change anything for 2 years? It's like saying that I know I can do better work next month, but I will not do. Doesn't make sense, right? Don't use non-Shopify platform when starting out. That's what I recommend. Try to be in Shopify ecosystem. It will help you a lot. So many brands go on WordPress, Magento, and then eventually struggle with day-to-day activity, and then cry about it. Right? Don't hand off the website to a branding agency or developer agency to treat. In India, you don't have CRO agencies. In India, you don't have landing page companies at all. Right? Majority of websites, even all the brands who are in the call right now, when they wanted to get a website done, they went to a tech person or they went to a branding person. Now, unfortunately, you have to go to them only. But they will not care about your CRO. They will not care about your strategy. They will not care about your brand. You will have to care about it. You will have to give them guidance. You will have to give them sections that as a brand, this is what I would want to communicate on the website. Right? So don't let them lead. You lead the project. You tell what communication will go. Let them do the execution part. Right? Now, what are the 5 kind of AI images that will work for you? Any brand you have, you need to make sure that you have plenty of lifestyle images of your product. Lifestyle creates aspiration. If someone is one good founder who made a 100 crore MRR, ARR brand, told me this thing very well in right कि इंडिया में पीपल आर प्राइस कॉन्शियस 1,000 का प्रोडक्ट दिख रहा है उनको तो 5,000 की वैल्यू दिखनी चाहिए उनको so when you're building an aspirational brand always 5x your pricing and see what those pricing में brands are doing and try to match your aspiration according to those things if people see that facade where things looks 5x and they feel things should be very premium and when they come on the pricing looks affordable for them it's a steal deal. That's how you end up making the purchase, right? Before afters, hands down, fundamentally, this is the most important thing that you will ever care about, right? Before afters, in every category, before after box, जहाँ पे होता है, if you're able to show them very well, nothing better than that. UGC content, my thumb rule for every D2C brand is to have at least 12 different faces on your website. It could be UGC content, it could be a founder face, it could be anything, but make sure that you have different faces on your website. Invest in good photography. The higher the aspiration, the most uniquely you will be able to stand as a brand. Right? Being authentic. You are in an era where every person can create UGC content very easily. Every person can create like a fake videos very easily. In that time when everybody is using fake content, if you can use authentic content, you will always win. Now, what are the tools as a company you will need? You will need Claude, you need Shopify, you need Figma, you need G Analytics, you will need Microsoft Clarity. Microsoft Clarity will help you understand heat maps of the website कि कितना क्या बर्न आ रहा है, कितना कहाँ कौन क्लिक कर रहा है, कितना डेप्थ है आपके स्पॉल का, and what is working, what is not working for you. Then use G Analytics to get the overall data points and stuff. I'm not going in detailing about this thing because tool understanding करने के लिए you can just go on YouTube and talk about it. Very important वो नहीं है. Mainly important ये है कि as a founder you should be able to navigate your team on how do you do CR on a monthly and weekly basis and get this implementation. आपको implementation करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. You will have a team or you have person who can do it, but you need to make sure that you understand what is right and what is wrong. So if I'm in this entire 1 hour of session, if I'm able to give you this perception on how do you make the right calls and wrong calls, it's more than enough. उसके बाद you are on your own. You will have to make this call on your own altogether, right? Now I'll talk about some case studies, right? Uh, you are in a time where you can use AI to create a lot of things, right? So example, there's a brand called Ugao in the plant company. They do more than 120, 130 crores per annum. My screen is visible, right?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, Ugao scale visible now. So what do you do? Okay, I don't know what scale people are at right now, but whichever scale you are at right now, if you have GA, if you have Shopify, if you have Meta and Google Creatives, put them in one cloud chat, extract information from them on what are the insights that you have with the customers. Once you have insight on the customer, then you try to create a planning based structure like this, right? So this is like a wireframe. What is wireframe? Wireframe basically means key any page that you create, what is the structure of the page, right? So when you're making Ugawa landing page to Claude, this is the HTML created. It gave 30 section options, right? One by one on what could be done, right? Just look at the sections, right? Data says 60% of customers are one-time customers. So if the first-time customer, then you want to show them new plans, you won't kill them, price under 999. And if the existing customer, then take them to a product that is more pro in nature, right? Then there's a section on again what is the customer's biggest inhibitions. If I buy this plant from the website, by the time it will reach me, it will be like gone, and I will not be able to take care of them, right? Real plant delivered live to every Indian cities. 14-day replacement, export care in your pockets, 10 lakh plants shipped. It addresses each and every inhibition the customer can think about. Then you can add a quiz and figure out which plan works for you. Then people have inhibitions कि packaging if आएगी तो खराब आएगी, तो you show them packaging material and you also tell them कि अगर packaging खराब आई है कुछ problem आया, I'll replace it for 50 days for you. Then again, what is working for the brand? The first time plan buyers. You won't kill this. Top rated for first time plan buyers. Works like charm. Reviews. Start small. Under 999. Clients in real Indian home. It's an aspiration class brand. It's about hobbies. How do you create hobbies? You can't educate people about hobbies. You can show them lifestyle. You can show them before after of your room. जहाँ आप पहले प्लान था अभी प्लान नहीं है and क्या plan is adding to the character, right? Those kind of images works very well. Then you show up a file, then you're beginner friendly. Now there are 30 sections of recommendation, right? From which a brand can take 15, 20 of them, and you can also use the remaining sections. You can create it and you can test it whenever you want to test it and see how brand works. Works like chalk, right? What are the more case studies? If you're a food and beverage brand, right? So we made this website for Super Youth. एफएमबी अगर ब्रांड एफएमबी कैटेगरी में आपका ब्रांड है, राइट? आदमी को क्या चाहिए? आदमी को चाहिए कितने फ्लेवर्स अवेलेबल है, 3 यूएसपी क्या है, क्या ये प्रोडक्ट नीट एंड क्लीन है, इसमें मैदा तो नहीं है, शुगर तो नहीं है, पाम ऑयल तो नहीं है, इसमें किससे बना है, राइट? आप जो चॉकलेट भी खा रहे हैं उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है, हमारे पास क्या अच्छी चीजें हैं, हमारा ईस्ट प्रोटीन है। देन उसके बाद कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए? कस्टमर को चाहिए वीडियोस। आपने 10 वीडियो ऐड कर लिया कि प्रोडक्ट टेस्टी डिलीशियस है, कस्टमर का इनोवेशन खत्म हो चुका है, उसके बाद अपना रिव्यू ऐड कर दो। सो एफ ब्रांड में जितनी आपकी वेबसाइट सिंपल रखेगी उतना आपको कन्वर्जन इंप्रूवमेंट होगा। कस्टमर को दिखाओ टेस्ट के बारे में, टेस्ट कस्टमर ने देख लिया, अब आप हेल्दी बना रहे हो नहीं बना रहे हो सब दूसरी बात है। आदमी को सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चाहिए टेस्ट, टेस्ट ही होना चाहिए प्रोडक्ट, बाकी टेस्ट ही है तो बाकी सब चाहिए। उसके बाद फिर जो आपकी फलाना डिफरेंट स्टोरी है वो सब ठीक है, और टेस्ट आप टेस्ट तो करा नहीं सकते हो, तो ऐड वीडियोस। इफ देयर आर 10 वीडियोस वेयर पीपल हैव like giving the opinion कि this product is tasty, then everything is a byproduct. लोग 3-3 बजे 4-4 बजे सुबह मॉर्निंग में उनके बड्डी के बाद खड़े रहते हैं to have a good product. Why are they standing? Because it's an experience. Someone told me it's the best product they can have. They are ready to spend that time and efforts to get a product like, right? Now if you're a brand, जहाँ you have different kind of products and different brands products belong to different categories, so you have to see from the same perspective. If you look at this particular brand, we are selling omega 3. In omega 3, the customer doesn't want to know about omega 3. उसको पता है डॉक्टर ने बोला खरीदना खरीद लेगा. उसको ये देखो कि ओमेगा 3 बेटर क्यों है आपका. उसको आप दे दो कि EPA टेस्ट दे दो, उसको mercury टेस्ट दे दो, उसको एंटीबायोटिक की डिक्लेरेशन का टेस्ट दे दो. They can click on it, they can look at the readings. Then talk about how you're better than 6-6. Then talk about clinical studies. Then talk about कि buy like a clinically dosage brand is very important. Then how we are sourcing the right omega 3. Then आप उसके myth burst करो. राइट. मिथ क्या होंगे कि यार कि अगर कोई भी फिश ऑयल सप्लीमेंट ले रहा हूँ तो बात तो एक ही है. बात एक नहीं है. हमारा एपीए डीएचपी उनसे बेटर है. कस्टमर का इनोवेशन क्या आएगा और दूसरा डाउट कि कोई भी फिश ऑयल तो ले लो बात तो एक ही है. नहीं. अगर एक पर्टिकुलर फिश ऑयल आप एक पर्टिकुलर फिश का लोगे तो उसका ऑयल इज बेटर. कस्टमर का दूसरा मिथ क्या है, तीसरा मिथ क्या है कि मैं वॉलनट और फ्लैक्सीड खा रहा हूँ तो मुझे जरूरत नहीं है उसकी. बट वैसा नहीं है. EPA that you get from fish oil is very different than what you get from this thing. तो you need to sell that particular product. कस्टमर का इनोवेशन क्या है कि इसमें होगा मैं खाऊंगा तो फिशी बर्फ्स आएंगे. तो आप बोलोगे नहीं लेमन फ्लेवर है हमारा तो फिशी बर्फ्स आएगा ही नहीं. कस्टमर का और क्या कंसर्न है कि भाई सेफ्टी तो है, हाँ मर्क्यूरी फ्री पीएसपी एंटीबायोटिक फ्री हो चुकी है. देन स्टफ. देन आगे कोई क्लिनिकल स्टडी दिखा दिया इसको. राइट. अब ये आपका एक प्रोडक्ट है. अब दूसरा प्रोडक्ट आपका है एवर बैलेंस. ठीक है. ये उनके लिए जो पेरीमोनस फेज के अंदर है. तो आपको उनको क्या दिखाना है, आपको उनको ये दिखाना है कि देखो यार मेरे पास होता क्या है, मेरे पास क्या होता है, हमारे प्रोडक्ट में क्या है जो आपकी इस फेज में हेल्प करने वाला है, क्या क्या आपको प्रॉब्लम्स का सोल्यूशन मिलेगा इन सब चीजों से जो आपको होने वाली है. हमारी 40 न्यूट्रिशन क्या है एंड ऑल फाइनल. Right? So depending on problem statements, your communication should change. Now, what if you have one product, but it's shooting to different kind of audiences? अब एग्जांपल एक ब्रांड है हमारा स्मार्ट कैफीन. हमने उनके लिए 3 लैंडिंग पेजेस बनाए. अब स्मार्ट कैफीन गेट्स कॉफी रिप्लेसर. अब ये प्रोडक्ट एक स्टूडेंट पी सकता है, एक वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल पी सकता है और एक जिम गोअर पी सकता है. तो यू क्रिएट 3 different लैंडिंग पेजेस फॉर 3 different kind of audiences. वर्क्स लाइक चार्म. तीनों ऑडियंस के लिए वर्क करेगा. तीनों का एससीपी अलग है, तीनों का फनल अलग है. इट कन्वर्ट्स क्रेजी. राइट. अब अगर आपको लग्जरी ब्रांड बनाना है तो आप क्या बनाओगे. लग्जरी ब्रांड के अंदर अगर आपको बनाना है तो आपको चाहिए कि यार आप अपनी इमेजरी को बहुत प्रीमियम रखो और जब स्टोरी टेलिंग करो तो आप अच्छी स्टोरी टेलिंग करो. राइट. तो आप बताओ कि भाई आपने ब्रांड बनाने में एफर्ट डाले. ओनली व्हेन पीपल सी कि आपने चीजों में एफर्ट डाले, दे फाइंड यू टू बी मेरिट ओरिएंटेड. राइट. द मोमेंट यू आर एबल टू फील क्या ये ब्रांड तो ऐसा है, ये चाइना से प्रोडक्ट इंपोर्ट करता है, कुछ खास उनके पास है नहीं लग्जरी ब्रांड का, लोग पीपल को लग्जरी वाली फीलिंग नहीं आने वाली. तो somewhere that aspiration used to come. Then you to scream about कि आप कैसे लग्जरी बन रहे हो, आपके फाइनल इंडियन लेदर है, 100% प्योर लेदर यूज कर रहे हो आप. Then you're showing your product images and stuff. Then you're focusing about the founder, you're focusing on behind the scene, you're focusing on कि जो हमारे न्यू अराइवल प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, you're focusing on कि हमारे सर्टिफिकेशंस ये हैं, हम you're focusing upon कि यार हमारे ये पर्टिकुलर पैकेजिंग एक्सपीरियंस है, हमारा ब्रांड है, हमारा कलर है अकीना ग्रीन. आप वो कलर्स को देखो, ये हमारे इन्फ्लुएंसर है, साहिबा बाली जैसे बड़े लोग जब इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं तो हमारे प्रोडक्ट यूज कर रहे हैं. और देन अपनी मीडिया कवरेज दिखा रहे हो, फिर आप इतना मूड बोर्ड दिखा रहे हो जहाँ आपके प्रोडक्ट्स को इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे शूट करा गया है. सो पीपल सी और कम अक्रॉस योर ब्रांड टू बी प्रीमियम ब्रांड. ठीक है. अब अगर आपके पास राइट, सॉरी फॉर दैट. राइट. अब अगर आपके पास है तो आप देखो इसके बारे में, ये बैग के बारे में डिजाइनर नोट क्या है, इसका इंस्पिरेशन क्या था, ब्रांड ने क्यों बनाया ये चीज, इस बैग में क्या क्या फिट हो जाता है. राइट. इस बैग की सिग्नेचर स्टाइलिंग क्या है. अगर आप देखो व्हाट इज लग्जरी ब्रांड. लग्जरी ब्रांड इज कंसिस्टेंसी. यू शुड बी एबल टू शो दिस कंसिस्टेंसी वेरी वेल. राइट. दिस इज व्हाट वर्क्स इन द कैटेगरी. नाउ if you look at like a personal care brand also, जहाँ पे पर्सनल केयर ब्रांड में आपको एस्पिरेशन भी क्रिएट करना है लेकिन आपको एजुकेट भी करना है कस्टमर को, there's a brand that we have worked on called Ayza. हमने उनकी वेबसाइट एक 1.5 साल पहले बनाई थी. आज the brand is doing, it's a UAE brand, so they're doing $1 million dirham per month on the website, right? Fantastic number to look at. If you look at their PDP also, give me 1 second, I'll just recharge my laptop.
In the meantime, while Bhuvanesh is recharging his laptop, for all the brand, for all the founders here, be ready with very specific questions also. So I think because he's giving us such specific case studies, feel like this is also going to be the right platform to ask very specific questions. So I mean that is something that I think we all should be ready with.
Yes, please. And I have a hard stop at 5 o'clock, so I'll do the last case study and we'll directly jump into question answers. So we're able to wrap it up very nicely. Don't worry, I'll be giving you my email address, so you can always set up a call with me to do a one-on-one session as well. I don't mind doing it as long as it's post office hours. Now, if you look at this particular brand we work for, right, it's a very visual oriented website. Now, ये उनका product है, which is a best selling product. Now, if you look at their branding, right, every image is lifestyle image oriented, and every image में हम लोगों ने स्क्रीन दिख रही है ना? या ठीक है, नहीं दिख रही?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, right. Right. So now if you look at it, instant volume, ingredients and stuff, हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, right? And you add a video, but again, lip का product है. You open any video, the person के lips are looking great. That's the best way of showing your product is working. उसके बाद क्या बेचोगे आप? All the ingredients study वो क्या करता है, good for क्या है इस चीज में? Like how does it feel? How does it smell? How to apply this entire product? Crazy. It worked crazily for them altogether, right? 2-3 things more I'll summarize, right? हमने एक और लैंडिंग पेज बनाया डेको डिश के लिए. ये भी एक शार्क टाइम ब्रांड है. इनकी अच्छी बात ये है, इनकी वेबसाइट बनाते हुए हम लोगों ने किया, इनकी वेबसाइट लाइव गई तो दे गॉट अ 60% इंक्रीज इन रेवेन्यू पर सेशन फॉर द वेबसाइट. अब उनकी जब वेबसाइट बन गई, द स्मार्टेस्ट थिंग दे डिड इट कि उसी कम्युनिकेशन से मेटा की क्रिएटिव बनाए, उसी कम्युनिकेशन पे Amazon की पूरी लिस्टिंग उन्होंने रिवैम्प कर दी, राइट? सो वंस यू गेट अ विनिंग हुक, अ विनिंग स्टोरी जो आपके लिए कन्वर्ट कर रहा है, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कि वो उठा के सब जगह बेचो. How? So once you do an upgrade on your website, make sure that every communication on your website is being used across different kind of platforms. This is where you will win as a brand. Now, how LP decides your even the traffic? So we made a landing page for this company called D2C by Inc42. Me and Amit ji both are mentor over there, right? जब हम लोग उनका landing page डिमांड कर रहे थे, तो there was a 300% increase in conversion rate. But उससे important बात ये थी कि the quality of people increased. So depending on your landing pages, you can see कि you will see a different kind of reaction from people. Your targeting will also change altogether, right? How LP impacts economics? एक ब्रांड के हमने एक लैंडिंग पेज बनाया, हम डेली ट्रैकिंग शीट मेंटेन कर रहे थे. जब डेली ट्रैकिंग शीट मेंटेन कर रहे थे, हमने देखा यार कि कुछ रैंडमली हुआ जिसकी वजह से उनका एओ भी इंक्रीज हो गया, पर कन्वर्जन डाउन हो गया. जब हमने इन्वेस्टिगेट किया, हमको मालूम पड़ा कि हमने एक वेरिएंट सेक्शन बनाया था. अगर ये वेरिएंट सेक्शन के अंदर हमने स्टार्टिंग लोअर पैक से करी टू हायर पैक, तो कन्वर्जन आर हायर, एओ इज लोअर. अगर हम उल्टा कर दे कि इफ वी स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द हाईएस्ट पैक and is going to the lower pack, then the conversion is AOV is lower, but conversion is top, right? Now, which is a better scenario? It depends on the brand. ब्रांड को चाहिए प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, वो AOV प्रायोरिटाइज करेगा. अगर ब्रांड को चाहिए कस्टमर्स, तो ब्रांड उसको प्रायोरिटाइज करेगा, कन्वर्जन्स को, राइट? माय ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ शोइंग यू दिस एंटायर थिंग इज कि भाई आप समझो कि आपकी वेबसाइट का एक्सपीरियंस कैसा है, वो आपके पीएनएल लेवल पे आ रहा है. आपका कैक क्या होगा, आपका कन्वर्जन क्या होगा, आप कितना पैसा बनाओगे नहीं बनाओगे, इज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ फकिंग सेक्शन दैट इज दिस स्मॉल, दैट 99% ऑफ ब्रांड विल ओवरलुक. तो लास्ट में अगर आपकी अच्छी वेबसाइट नहीं है और आप मार्केटिंग पे स्पेंड भी कर लोगे, तो यू आर ओनली बर्निंग मनी और यू आर ओनली डूइंग समथिंग दैट इज जस्ट हार्मिंग योर पेन ऑन डेली बेसिस, जो आपको आइडिया भी नहीं है, जो आपको हार्म कर रहा है. तो इन दिस एंटायर प्रेजेंटेशन वी सॉ कि हाउ लैंडिंग पेज इज कन्वर्टिंग, इंप्रूविंग द रेवेन्यू, how landing page is impacting the quality of customers, how landing page is converting also impacting the customer that you are and how they perceive your brand. इससे ज्यादा क्या बात करूं? और इतना बात करने के बाद में तुमको बताऊंगा मैं आपको कि लोग नहीं कर रहे मंथली. जिंदगी की प्रॉब्लम देखो आप, ये इतना देख लिया समझ गया कि वर्क करता नहीं करता है स्टफ एंड ओपन इंडिया के टॉप लीडिंग ब्रांड स्टफ एंड नॉट एवरी ब्रांड जो लेगेसी ब्रांड है उन्होंने नहीं करा है. जितने न्यू एज ब्रांड है सबके लैंडिंग पेज क्रेजी बन रहे हैं. There's a brand called I am Hate. They are running 400 landing pages across world, depending on ICP, audience, country, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. So अभी because of AI ये सब चीजें पॉसिबल है. और अगर आप बात नहीं कर रहे हो तो ये जस्ट बर्निंग मनी एंड वेटिंग फॉर कंपनी टू टेक ओवर योर ब्रांड ओवरऑल, right? I'm happy to Q&A and stuff. I'll just go to comment section one by one and start reading out to any questions that we have. Is the background view of Bombay? No, so it's of Surat. I stay in a tier 2 city. It's a very beautiful place. You should come over. I have a river view called, there's a river called Tapi River. It's beautiful. Do mobile first app also works for a social media platform like IG, FB, Actions, LinkedIn? अगर आपके पास 10,000 कस्टमर बेस है आपके पास तो आप मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन कर लो. उससे पहले आप कुछ करने की कोशिश भी करोगे so that application cost is expensive to maintain, right? So depending on category and stuff, you can take a call.
I mean, you can also like unmute yourself and ask questions directly.
Yes.
But like, one thing that I also wanted to sort of understand what a lot of founders come up with is the retention rate. That they're unable to sort of attract consumers where they're coming back again and again. So what, okay, can you like touch upon that a little bit?
देखो क्या है कि रिटेंशन के लिए आपको अलग गेम खेलना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, एक तो रिटेंशन का पूरा गेम प्रोडक्ट का गेम है, राइट? कि प्रोडक्ट अच्छा होना चाहिए एट अ फंडामेंटल लेवल. सेकंड लेवल पे आपको कितनी सीआरएम करने पड़ेंगी. अगर कस्टमर नहीं खरीदा क्यों नहीं खरीदा, कस्टमर ने खरीद दिया तो उसको आप फिर क्या कम्युनिकेशन बेच रहे हो. अगेन जो भी आप लैंडिंग पेज के लिए कम्युनिकेशन क्रिएट करो, क्रिएट अ फ्लो कि कस्टमर ने नहीं खरीदा तो मैं इसको क्या भेजूंगा अबेंडन कार्ट से. और अगर कस्टमर खरीद लिया तो उसका पोस्ट परचेज फनल क्या होगा. इन जनरल आपका जो डेटा पॉइंट है कि कस्टमर किस चीज को पेयरिंग कर रहा है एंड हाउ कैन यू यूज दिस पेयरिंग टू क्रॉस सेल अपसेल थ्रू योर कम्युनिकेशंस इज अ फंडामेंटल लेवल ऑफ थिंग्स, राइट? इन लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ कैटेगरी आपको बताता हूँ मैं कि लोगों को लगता है कि कस्टमर ने एक प्रोडक्ट खरीदा तो नेक्स्ट टाइम जो कस्टमर आएगा दूसरा प्रोडक्ट खरीदेगा. बट इन 30-40% केसेस द कस्टमर बाय द सेम प्रोडक्ट, right? So your retention will not be decided by anything else but your product itself and how good your product is. And eventually, आप जो retention marketing कर पा रही हो through emails and Gmails and stuff, and how you're able to have very cohesive communication across the website will be a decision maker factor. तो my advice is कि landing page से शुरू करो, improvise करो, convert करो. जब वर्क कर गया तो उसकी बेसिस पे एड्स क्रिएट करो, उसकी बेसिस पे ईमेल फ्लोज क्रिएट करो, उसकी बेसिस पे व्हाट्सएप फ्लोज क्रिएट करो ताकि आप कस्टमर को पूरा फ्लो क्रिएट करा पाए, right? As a brand, you are working on a very fragmented approach, but as a customer, people are not looking at it fragmented. They are looking at it as a brand. कि आप मैंने एक ब्रांड का ऐड देखा, मैंने ब्रांड का सोशल मीडिया देखा, मैंने उनकी वेबसाइट देखी, फिर मेरे वेबसाइट में नहीं था तो उनका क्या मैसेज मुझे आया. तो दे आर लुकिंग एट अ स्टोरी फ्रॉम अ वेरी कोहेसिव मैनर, बट व्हेन यू आर क्रिएटिंग दिस स्टोरी यू आर मेकिंग दिस स्टोरी अ वेरी फ्रैगमेंटेड अप्रोच. So that's a mismatch of things.
No, that makes sense. Anybody else, I mean, who wants to have a discussion, add something to this maybe, or ask a question generally? Great. I think everybody was probably pretty like very clear about your presentation was very self-explanatory as well. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they were clear, and
Yeah.
I think
My view is people are absorbing this first. This is too much for them for the initial stage, but definitely it was a very good session. So I believe as Bhuvnesh is going to share his email ID, we will be happy to coordinate between Bhuvnesh and the audience in case they will have more questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm known to be very friendly. तो अगर आपको कुछ भी डाउट आ रहा है, क्वेरी आ रही है, अगर आप जस्ट गिव मी अ कॉल, गिव मी ईमेल कि आपको ये क्वेश्चंस है, हाउ डू आई फिक्स दिस एंटायर थिंग, इवन इफ इट्स नॉट क्लियर रिलेटेड, आई एम मोर देन हैप्पी टू हेल्प यू एज लॉन्ग एज आई कैन हेल्प यू इन दिस. सो प्लीज फील टू रीच आउट. ठीक है?
I mean, and before we like conclude this session, obviously thank you so much, Bhuvnesh, for this really interesting session. Learned a lot. When I made my notes, I was like making notes side by side because again, it was definitely too much information. Also like everything was very new. Not just too much information in like a negative sense, but it was all everything was like very new also. So
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
interesting. Again, thank you so much for that. And I quickly wanted to take a minute to also introduce what we are doing at Easy Knowledge Club here. So I think before I go ahead, we also have a question. So if you, Bhuvanesh, if you want to take that.
What matters is metrics scaling the as bro ROAS is the only metric that you look at. As long as ROAS is profitable for you, बाकी सब चीजें ठीक है. So look at ROAS as your fundamental like outcome, and then you try to create things one by one. कि ठीक है ये ROAS के लिए मुझे क्या करना है? I need to get better creatives, I need to get better landing page, और I need to do better targeting. आपकी ये तीन फैक्टर्स ही होते हैं, like landing page, creative and targeting, that will define कि आपका ये कैसा आ रहा है overall. Right? So your revenue, if you look at it, what is the revenue? Revenue is equal to average order value into conversion rate into sessions is equal to your revenue, right? तो आपका AOV और अगर conversion rate 20% improvement होता है, 30% improvement होता है, तो आपका output quality because of the quality of session and stuff compounds to a great extent, right? But last में ये सब चीजें कब आएगी? आप मुझे कैसे करोगे? अरे ROAS and ROAS is the metric, right? तो वो उसको देखते रहो.
So again, thank you so much, Bhuvanesh. I think what you can do is maybe we can take the questions offline now, because I understand that you have hard stop at 5. So
Yeah.
I quickly wanted to introduce a little bit about Easy Knowledge Club. So Easy Knowledge Club, we're a platform for community. We're a community for early stage founders. So I mean, any founder, startup mentor, if you're also like a growth enthusiast, and if you want to stay connected, understand about the ecosystem more, understand about if you want to like learn from your peers, this is the right platform to be at. So what I'll do is I'll share I'll definitely like share a mail with all of you. I'll share Bhuvanesh's information on the mail as well, so for you to reach out to him directly. And I'll also add Easy Knowledge Club's like platform link there, so you should go there. We keep conducting these sessions every week. There's a lot to learn from these sessions. I feel like this is how we can gain most value, because it's one-on-one discussions. Nothing is better than that. So definitely, I would love to stay in touch with you guys, and I hope to see the participants in the next sessions as well.
Yeah. Once again, Bhuvnesh, thank you very much for sparing the time.
Thank you, Miji. Pleasure. Thank you, Sejal, so much, and thank you everyone to be
Thank
there.
you, everybody. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you, Shubham.